Welcome, everybody, to the NHL Best Bets for April 8th, presented by the Odds Shoppers. I'm Franco the Banker, not Gator Betting today.
Yeah.
And I'm joined by one co-host, Gretzky's Betskis here. Sorry, Gretzky Betskis. We're here to break down our favorite plays for Tuesday night's 10-game NHL slate. Whether you're looking for player props, money lines, or totals, we've got you covered. Also, don't forget to check us out on Odd Shoppers Tales Network, where we'll be dropping all of our plays early, giving our subscribers a chance to grab the best lines before they move. And remember, we're not just giving out picks, we're explaining why we like each bet. You can use promo code PUCKS for 50% off your first month. The link for our Tales profile will be in the description below for anyone who wants to check that out. Later in the show, we'll also be using the Portfolio EV tool from Odd Shoppers to identify the top EV tools for tonight. We're pumped to have you along for the ride. So grab your notepad, get ready to lock in some winners, and let's drop the puck on tonight's slate. All right, Betsky, why don't you kick us off? What do you got for tonight?
All right. Well, I'm leaning more into the kind of opening first half of the slate, and let's go straight to Chicago. Always a good target for shots, always a good target for points. And we're going to go for Bryan Rust here, who is looking to have his first 30-goal season. He's hit his shot on goal prop 5 straight games. In those 5 games, he's averaging 5.8 shot attempts, which is just about what you're looking for. Generally, I like to see shot attempts being twice the amount of the shots they need. So if they're missing their shots, missing the net, getting shots blocked or deflected, you got some padding to cover that. So he's right pretty much there. And he's always been pretty efficient with his shots in general. On top of that, he's hit in the last 3 games against Chicago. And as we know, Chicago is one of the leakiest teams to shots on goal. They've actually been a little bit better of recent. They're hovering around the 17th most shots against over the last 10 games. But over the course of the season, they've allowed the 3rd most. Generally, things kind of level themselves out. Right now, it's a little tough to find which teams to target. So you're kind of looking for that extra factor in there. And I think that 30-goal season for Russ would be a good one here. So give me Bryan Rust over 2.5 shots on goal, minus 130, right around that bettable number. I think that looks like a pretty solid play, and maybe even sprinkle that goal.
Love it. Yeah, I'm going to be on Rust tonight as well. I think looking for these motivating factors towards the end of the season, especially with a team like Pittsburgh, is not technically eliminated yet, but I think soon enough they will be.
And again, they're one of those teams where they brought up some of the kids like Rutger McGroarty. Jeez, that's a tough one. And they're trying to figure out what the team's going to be in the next couple of years. I mean, Pittsburgh has actually been playing pretty well lately. Mm-hmm. You're going to have maybe one of the last couple of seasons of Sidney Crosby in the league. I think next year is the last year he signed, but I think they're going to have to kind of figure out what their identity is, and maybe they're going to try to figure that out a little bit in these last couple of games. So a lot of players auditioning right now, either to keep their roles on the Penguins, improve their roles on the Penguins, or maybe to get shipped out.
Yeah, I mean, I could see a guy like Rust being on the move. He's one of the older guys that maybe they're more willing to get rid of to kind of clear some space for younger players moving up. So I can see him auditioning there. And I mean, you can't take away a 30-goal season from anybody. I'm surprised he has never gotten one, to be honest with you.
Me too. Feels like Gensel was always there to snatch all those goals, huh?
That's true. All right. Well, I like that play. I'm going to lay out this one for tonight as well. Similar kind of motivating factors here tonight. I'm going to the Detroit and Montreal Canadiens game. Obviously, both these teams fighting for that final wild card spot. Right now, the Canadiens are holding a spot. They have a 6-point lead against Detroit. So this is a big game for both teams. Detroit just hasn't really looked good overall. I know they got a win the other day against Florida, but they don't look great either. Montreal, I feel like, has just been on a roll recently. So I want to kind of be backing Montreal players right now against a team like Detroit. I don't think has very good goaltending or defense. So I'm looking at the rookie Hudson. Obviously, he looks like he's the future Calder winner as well. He is currently 2 assists away from tying Larry Murphy for the all-time most assists by rookie defenseman. Obviously, 3 would break the record, but regardless, the Canadiens have 5 games left, so 5 games left to try to break that record. I like his assist tonight, -120 in a game I think the Habs should win, so I don't mind Montreal money line either. I feel like that's a good price on them. It's -135, so kind of 2 leans here, but the main play I'm looking at is Hudson. I feel like it just seems like every game he's on the score sheet recently, and then on the season against Detroit, he's hit an assist in 4 out of 5 games as well. So pretty good record versus them in general. And like I said, I just don't buy Detroit's defense and goaltending right now. They just haven't been good enough. So yeah, I think there's some value on the rookie to keep his heater going. Points in 4 of his, or assists in 4 of his last 5 as well. So yeah, feels pretty good.
Yeah, I love that. Detroit, worst penalty kill in the league too. I just had to take a look at Hudson's power play points though, and he's been a little cold over the last 10 games. Only 2 power play points against Florida, so both in the same game. Plus 260. I don't know if I would take that. I think I would just go straight for that assist at -120.
Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more value. I remember getting them at like plus 450 earlier in the season for power play points, so that's pretty significant departure. The other thing with Detroit's penalty kill is like they're not they're the worst in the league and like worst last 10. So like obviously they're the target, but they rank towards the bottom in power play opportunities against. So they don't give up a ton. It's like I think they're averaging like a little over 2 power play opportunities against per game. So you're not getting a ton of opportunities, but you are cashing when you do get them. So
Nice.
obviously he's top power play too. So what else you got tonight for tonight?
I'm going to chase volume right now too. Another shots on goal prop I love today. You're getting a lot of value at plus 115 for Zach Warensky shots on goal. He is bumped back up to that 3.5 line, which just kind of gives you that added bonus, a plus money factor here. If you look at his shot attempts over the last 10 games, it's truly wild. There are only 2 games where he didn't have double-digit shot attempts. So he's averaging 11 shot attempts per game, and he's averaging about 5.3 shots on goal. So just kind of crazy what he's doing right now. There was a point where he was kind of slumping a little bit, and shot attempts went down right after kind of 4 Nations break, but he seems to be right back in form. And then at home on top of it, he has hit in just about 60% of all games this season. So great road home splits here. He gets Ottawa, who are allowing the 8th most shots against over the last 10 games. And, they're one of those teams that likes to get in the box. I think they've been a little bit better as of late. Let me pull that up real quick. But kind of doesn't matter when you're taking that many attempts per game. You're just going to be able to swing some pucks on that. So give me the Warensky shots on goal here. I think Columbus is going to continue to try to end the season on a high note, even if they've been slumping and are pretty much out of the playoff picture at this point. I still think this is a very big success of a season. I think there's a lot of motivation to continue to win games and kind of keep playing games like they're playoff games, even if they're eliminated. Utah's kind of in a similar spot where these are 2 teams who haven't kind of been this high in the standings and this close to the playoffs in a long time. And both are technically not eliminated, but there's a lot of lessons learned for younger cores to be able to kind of play this meaningful games this late into the season. So,
yeah, I agree, and it's crazy like the fall off we've seen from this team. It seemed like it kind of happened after that that outdoor game. They had the big win there, and since then it's been like a pretty significant slump from everybody. I mean, Warensky was in the Norris race. It felt like there.
Yeah.
At that point in time, and now it's not even a race anymore, and obviously they're pretty much out of the playoff picture. Still slight edge or outside chance of getting there, but I doubt it's going to happen. So yeah, I think Warensky still has that extra juice to play for a little bit to kind of build on for next season and get better with this team. So I like that look. My last one for the slate, I'm going to go to Anton Lundell for the Florida Panthers playing against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So this is a big game for both these teams. I think the Leafs are going to want to win this game, kind of to show that they can beat this team before we get into the playoffs. Obviously, there's a chance these two could face off at some point, and they kind of have their demons against this team. But I'm targeting Anton Lundell tonight for a point, just given the situation. Sam Bennett was announced out until the playoffs today, so Lundell's going to move up to that second line with Marchand and Luosterainen. And I just think he's just getting more ice time is going to be a big thing for him. He's another guy that's kind of, to close out the season, has a little bit of motivating factors. He's sitting at 17 goals on the season. He's never gotten to 20 before. He's only really been in the league for like 3 years, I think. So not too long of not too long of not too much history. But again, I just think, given the bump in ice time, he's just going to get significant ice time. He's going to be playing that second line, and I think he's just going to get those better matchups, right? Like, the Leafs are going to use their better defensive line against the top line of Barkov and Reinhart and Verhaeghe. So Lundell's going to get the softer matchups. Obviously, you look at his last 10, he's only had 0.3 of 10, stuff like that. But I'm not really going to look at that just given the situation. You're moving up from third to second line. You're going to get more favorable opportunities and better offensive, zone shifts and stuff like that to get more chances. So I think getting his point at around plus money, plus 102 today feels like a good shout today.
Yeah, like that.
All right. Do you have any other plays today, or should we go into the Portfolio EV tool?
Let's go into that portfolio. Let's dig in.
All right. Now that we've given out our top plays for the day, it's time to dive into the Portfolio EV tool from OddsShoppers. But before we do that, just a quick reminder, you can use our promo code NHLBETS for 50% off your first month. You'll also find the link in the description of this video. We love this tool for a lot of reasons. It allows us to build custom portfolios specifically for NHL betting and uses a market-based approach to identify plus EV bets beating true odds across all sports books. Plus, you can tailor it to include sportsbooks available in your area, giving you an edge no matter where you're betting. All right, let's take a look at the top play of the night that the Portfolio EV tool has highlighted for us. So we're looking here at Brandon Montour of the Seattle Kraken, under 2.5 shots on goal. Bet Rivers has this at minus 124. Most other books are hanging at minus 135, minus 140 on FanDuel. Looks pretty good if you look at his recent form and his away splits, especially. Given this game is going to be in Utah, he's only hit over 2.5 shots on goal in 3 of his last 10, 1 of his last 5, really. So just not really good road form in general. His shot volume looks to be kind of trending down a little bit. And I think, Betsy, you were talking about this when we're talking earlier about them just having a long road trip here. Bad travel spot for Seattle.
Yeah, probably about 2.5 hour flights. Not the worst, but you're going through a different time zone. You got the altitude to factor in. Back to back from LA to Utah just kind of feels weird. You're not taking that pit stop in Vegas or anything before that. Utah's been kind of gritty lately. They've been pretty good at suppressing shots. Kind of mentioned it before with Columbus. They're one of those teams that are still like trying to show that they're one of those teams that could potentially be a playoff team next year. So they're still playing these games like they matter, even if they're not going to be making the playoffs.
Yeah. All right. I think that wraps it up for today's show. I hope everybody enjoyed our NHL best bets for this Tuesday slate presented by the OddsShoppers. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to join us next time for more top plays and insights as we break down the NHL slates. Don't forget to subscribe and use promo code NHLBEST for 50% off your first month of the Portfolio EV tool on OddsShoppers. And don't miss out on our top plays over at the OddsShoppers Tails Network. Use promo code PUCKS for 50% off your first month. Catch us live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as well at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on our Expected Bets for YouTube and Twitter X streams. Best of luck with your bets tonight, and we'll catch you next time. Let's cash some bets.